Aloha and mahalo as we start our orange belt review looking at punch counter number 3. This one introduces quite a bit more than the previous two, so let's take a look at it. Once again, it's coming from 12 o'clock in our green zone. This time it is either a hook or is a haymaker, a right haymaker or hook. We want to get to the inside of our opponent in this particular case. Left leg slightly forward once again. As I step in slightly with my left to close the distance, I'm going to use a brush block, and then strike. We would call that a double tap. Brush block, strike. But as I do the strike, what I want to do is to shimmy. Once again, we're going to borrow from the wahine and the hula, and to use our hips and to shimmy into it. To use what is called directional harmony, to get our guts in the way, to use our weight to our advantage. So once again, left leg slightly forward, hands are up. Step, brush block, shimmy, strike. From here, my right hand is by his neck, my left hand should be by his wrist. I am going to hook at his shoulder, and I get to borrow his balance for the knee strike. I'm going to pull him in, once again push-pull, and then I'm going to bring him down. As I bring him down, the right hand is going to snake underneath for a headlock. What my goal is, hopefully he's wearing a jacket or a shirt where I can grab onto his shirt and to bring that shirt across his throat so that I have got the choke, his airway, as well as now my arm is going to be as carotid, causing the strangulation. So it's going to be a combo. Once again, from the beginning here, step forward, brush block, hammer, hook, knee, bring down. Notice as I stepped back, I did another shimmy to bring him off weight forward. I'm going to hook and to grab, and I'm going to rotate my body to affect both the choke and the strangulation. My left hand is going to hook underneath his arm and place my left hand at his scapula, his shoulder. As I do so, my right foot is going to once again upcock as I push his head down and underneath, causing him to flip in for me to hit him with the planet. Once again, from the beginning, left leg slightly forward, step to the corner of the triangle, brush block, hammer, hook, knee, bring down. Snake, hook, grab the gi or the jacket, rotate and choke. Come up, hook the arm, put pressure on the shoulder. I'm going to up clock, push his head down, goes down to the ground, and then follow up however I wish. That's been OKO Punch Counter number 3. Stay tuned as we look at the concepts and principles. Aloha and mahalo as we look at OKO Punch Counter number 3, concepts and principles. So once again, this is a right hook haymaker from 12 o'clock. So number 1, our left foot slightly forward. The first 3 things we do are almost done simultaneously. We've got our double tap, inward parry, outward parry, bam. We want this to be concussive strike, but also notice what we're doing in this is deviating and deflecting the line of the attack. This goal is to come to my noggin, right? The first parry takes it off of the line. The second is insurance that allows me to disengage my right hand and then to strike. Once again, once we have contact with our opponent, I know where he is. And I'm going to use that to my advantage in what we call contouring. Once I have brought this off of the line, I've double tapped, I know where his arm is. I'm going to use the contour of his arm to trace down my hand right to his neck. I don't have to cock to chop. Neither do I have to guess. I don't have to play footsie with his arm to find him. Instead, I can just contour right up his arm to the target. I can use my senses, my tactile and my vision in order to find the target. Also, we're going to be using the shimmy. Once again, we're going to borrow heavily from our wahine and the hula, and we are going to use our bodies and to shimmy into this, putting our weight into it. So once again, double tap. As I step in, I'm going to shimmy to put some force into that. Think of a wave. If you're at the ocean and you see the tide go in, the wave build, and then it comes crashing. Think of the shimmy as us building the wave in our bodies. The receding of the wave to then climb and to go forward. Same thing, double tap. I'm going to draw back and the wave comes down. It's using a lot of different concepts and principles that we will enumerate in the future. But think of the wave as it's crashing when you're thinking of the shimmy or the hula. Once again, we have borrowed balance using the picture frame. So after the strike, I'm going to hook. Look at my thumbs, they're opposite. I can use that push-pull, and my right arm now is anchored. I can borrow his balance. Much like if I go to this pole, if I hook my arm around the pole, I can borrow the balance from the pole and I can strike it as much as I want. Same thing with our opponent. We're going to hook and to borrow his balance, but we're also going to generate force. As I push-pull, once again, two cars colliding at 30 miles an hour creates a 60-mile-an-hour collision. It's going to happen as we hook, and earlier as we do the knee, or if I hook and now I'm going to bring him into a choke. So once again, opposite thumbs, I'm going to pull him down. Now as I circle underneath, I'm not just going to leave my hand open because we're not grabbing it. This is not a front headlock. I'm going to circle around. I want to control his right arm. So I'm going to grab his jacket, his shirt, whatever clothing he has, and to bring it across his throat. Once again, we have two types of chokes. Right? There's cutting off of the oxygen, which is your traditional choke, and then there's strangulation, which is the blood flow to the brain. In this particular instance, we're going to be able to do both. Bringing the uniform across the front chokes the air, and the arm coming across the side and grabbing it is going to cause the strangulation. So we get a twofer. So in this guillotine choke, we're going to grab, gives us time to continue our technique, because what is he going to be worried about? He's going to be worried about bringing his hands up and trying to breathe and to not black out. But as he's doing that, that gives us the time to bring our left hand up and under his arm, getting that hook, to then push his head down and drop him to the ground. This is the jiu-jitsu in Kaju that Uncle Frank brought to Kaju. We see it all over the Kempo arts, hence the name Kempo Jiu-Jitsu, as it used to be called for decades, and was dropped for the simpler name of just Kempo. So once again, we've got double tap motion, we've got contouring up the arm, we've got the shimmy or the hula, we've got borrowed balance, we have picture frame, we have manipulating our opponent's height, width, and depth, giving us time. And once again, we have the up clock or pizza slice to create room to hit our opponent with the planet. This has been OKO Punch Counter number 3, the beginning of our orange belt material. With that, aloha and mahalo.